Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to delete elements from to-dos. Now, as you can see, we have three different new functionalities. So we can delete a specific to-do, or we can delete the completed to-dos, or we can delete all of the to-dos, right? So we have three new types of buttons added. Now I'm going to go back to the code and I'm going to show you how I built this. So as you can see, these are the buttons that I've added. Right now they don't do anything. So our first function is going to be called clear to-dos, and all it does is pretty much resets all of the to-dos. So as you can think of it simply, all it does is it sets the to-dos to an empty array. So it's a very simple function. It has one line and it does one thing. So it's very simple. So in order to use this, all we have to do is go to our button, which is clear all, and we're going to add an on click event. And when you click this, we're going to call the clear to-dos. I'm going to save and I'm going to go back to our app. And when we click this button, it should clear all of them. And as you can see, the list is now empty. Now I'm going to show you how to remove the completed to-dos. So our function to remove the completed to-dos is also very simple, but it does use a new method called filter. Now filter is a similar method to map, as in it doesn't modify the original array. It always returns a new array and keeps the original array the same. So what filter does, so it loops through the array, and for each iteration it gives you the element that's in that index, and what this callback returns a boolean. So if it's true, then it keeps the element in the array, and if it's false, it removes the element from the array. So filter does this automatically for you. All you have to do is return a condition that returns either true or false. Now in our case, since we want to remove the completed to-dos, so according to our logic, this will only keep the elements that pass this condition. So we only want to keep the elements that are not completed. So we're going to remove the completed to-dos, and for that, we're going to return a simple boolean that's going to evaluate to true if it's not completed and to false if it is completed. And like I said, filter keeps the elements that evaluate to true. So if this condition is true, then it's going to be returned to the new array, and if it's false, it's going to be removed from the new array. So as you can see, the new to-dos, this is going to be a new array that doesn't have the completed to-dos set to true. And then as usual, we're going to set the to-dos to the new to-dos. And now as usual, I'm going to add the event. It's going to be an on click event, and it's going to take the remove completed to-dos. And if I go back to our app and refresh, so if I'm going to click it now, it's not going to do anything because we don't have any completed to-dos. But for example, if I mark learn Redux and I'm going to click this, now that you can see that learn Redux has been removed. So our function works. And now I'm going to show you how the remove to do function works. As usual, if we're going to remove a single to do, then we need some kind of identifier. And in this case, it's going to be the ID. So we know which to do we're going to remove. So our function takes the ID. And again, it's going to call the filter method on the to-dos. But in this case, instead of evaluating on whether it's completed or not, we're going to evaluate whether the ID is equivalent or not to the ID that we want to remove. So like I said, for each iteration, it's going to return the to-do. We're going to compare the ID of that to-do to the ID that we want to remove. If it's the same, we're going to remove it from the array. And if it's different, we're going to keep it. So this evaluation is going to evaluate to true if it's not the same ID, and it's going to evaluate to false if it's the same ID. And when it evaluates to false, it's going to be removed from the new array. And as usual, we're going to set to-dos to the new to-dos. Now I'm going to add the on-click event. And I'm going to use a callback function for this because we need to pass the ID. and I'm gonna pass it the to-do.id. The to-do is the current to-do, so this one, and the map function. So we always have access to this to-do. I'm gonna save. If I go back, now I'm gonna try to remove this one. I'm gonna hit delete, and it was removed. So this works whether it's completed or not. This will also work. And I'm gonna refresh, it's gonna reset everything. And as you can see, it works. And everything works as it should be. So yeah, this is how you delete elements from arrays in JavaScript, and specifically in React. And in my next video, I'm gonna show you how to add elements to the array and how to modify the elements in the array. So for example, we can change the text of the to-do, and we can add a completely new to-do. So yeah, see you in my next video.